you have to give ground to gain ground. You are not supposed to be the fixer all the time. I mentioned this on my Instagram as well. You are not an expert until somebody invites you into their life as one. Relatability and trust is always going to get you into more doors than, some kind of title or sense of authority. It's high referent power. When somebody likes you or they feel like they connect with you, that is the strongest inroads towards buy-in. It just is. It is. And many of us, we don't want to let a mentor down, somebody that's been there for us, somebody that's believed in us. And it doesn't have to be like a mentor scenario. Just think like the most insecure people, they want to be put in positions of power because that immediately assuages that. I think of this story, and hopefully if you guys are history buffs, you'll appreciate this. And I'm never going to remember this in totality, but there's the Ben Franklin effect, and some of you are probably smiling and nodding about this. But the Ben Franklin effect is a proposed psychological phenomenon that essentially states a person who has already performed a favor for another person is more likely to do another favor for that person, as opposed to if they had received it from them to begin with, right? And there's a little bit of an explanation for this. It's cognitive dissonance. People reason that they help others because they like them, even if they don't, because their minds struggle to maintain some kind of logical consistency between actions and perceptions. So, and Ben Franklin in his autobiography, in one of them, his quote directly was, "He that has once done you a kindness will be more ready to do another than one whom you yourself have obliged." And so in this scenario, if I remember it correctly, there was a rival legislator that Ben Franklin dealt with when he served in Pennsylvania legislature in the 18th century. And, this rival, Ben had heard that this rival had in his library a very scarce book, a very scarce and curious book that Ben really wanted. So he had wrote a note to him, and he had expressed his desire of perusing that book. And he requested, again, giving ground to gain ground. Ben removed his power, requested, say, "Hey, you would be doing me a tremendous service. You'd be doing me a tremendous favor if you just lend it to me for a few days." Well, this political rival who didn't like Franklin sent it to him, and Franklin returned it. I don't remember what amount of time, but wrote a thank you note expressing, "Hey, I want you to know how much this meant to me. Thank you so much. This was a tremendous book." And then, as the story goes, when they met next at the house, this previous rival had really spoken to him with a lot of kindness and great civility, to the point that he had never manifested this kind of readiness to serve or help Franklin before. And they became great friends. And so that's a great example of sometimes reducing your power to make inroads. And this is where you just are going to have to face the reality. Something that I've learned is a lot of leaders and coaches are tremendously self-conscious individuals, to the point where, despite all the coaching literature and leadership literature they read, they still haven't mastered this idea of like, guys, more often than not, you're the problem. And I'm saying you as a collective we, because I do this as well, but you're the problem. You don't like reducing power. You want to be the fixer, because we all have a tremendous hole inside of us that we're like, oh my God, we want to be useful and we want to provide value. But sometimes providing value is letting other people help us.